Scott Mechkowski, former senior ICE official and advisor to the Oversight Project. Scott, thanks for joining us. Scott, sorry for the delay, but this is a call-in show. We prioritize our callers, except when President Trump calls in. Other than that, everybody has to take a back seat to the callers. I hope you're not offended by that, Scott.
Oh, absolutely not. Thanks for having me, John.
All right. Look, DHS not funded. How at risk are we domestically?
There's a lot going on, so that definitely needs to be done. We need the TSA funded. We need we need that. We need Congress to open it up now. They need to stop playing games with that. We have threats nationwide, as you know. You watch the news, so yeah, we need to get DHS funded and back 100% operational.
So at the Shield of America summit, he put Kristi Noem in charge of that this weekend. President Trump laid out a clear warning to leaders across the Western Hemisphere that the era of tolerating lawlessness in a region is over. You want to comment on that, Scott?
I think it's important that we reach out to our international partners and let them know mass migration and smuggling of fentanyl and other illicit drugs into this country has got to end, and they need to take an active part in all that. So it needs to be done. It needs to be taken serious, John.
So what do you think of what Trump is doing? How successful will that be?
In regards to what, John?
Stopping the flow of drugs and narcotics into the United States. Like what in your mind was the objective of that?
Well, I think you need to have strong international ties, transnational messages, right, to all these leaders that mass migration, the cartels that are bringing all of this stuff into the country, they need to hold their own people accountable. They need to stop that. They need to partake in the execution of enforcing that stuff coming across the border.
What, in your mind, what is Kristi Noem's job here?
She's going to oversee it from what I understand. I'm not really focused on that right now because, as you know, the Mass Deportations Coalition organization, we're trying to kick this playbook off by 1 April. So my focus is actually helping the president achieve his campaign promise signature of mass deportation.
How will you do that?
We have a lot of different ways we're working on it. We have a big coalition. The coalition's been active. There's a lot of polling involved. There's legal experts. There's law enforcement experts. There's policy advisors. Stay tuned. I think April's going to be an interesting time here.
So define mass deportations. What does that even mean for our audience, Scott?
The audience needs to understand mass deportations isn't a bad word. Okay, it's a necessity. What we need to do is we need to hold people accountable. People that come to this country and apply for visas that they're given legally with the intent to overstay and never return back to their domicile is illegal. They pose a threat. We don't know where they go. We don't keep tabs on them. One of the lessons learned from 9/11, and it was in the 9/11 report, was we need to take more accountability. We need to take a stronger stance on people coming here legally and overstaying. President Trump did an amazing job shutting the border down. That was a tough task. And with that comes the reducing the flow of human trafficking, reducing the flow of illegal narcotics coming across the border to include fentanyl. Now it's the interior enforcement part. The interior enforcement part, we need to find out who's here. We need to get these people registered, out of the shadows, and held accountable. There should be a consequence. There are millions of people that come to this country and want to come to this country legally, and they go through a process. Now, the process may be long, it may be trying at times, but they do it the right way, and they pay a price. They're away from their families, their loved ones for periods of time, but eventually they get here and they're legal. Nobody should be able to come and cut in front of the line.
I agree with you 100%. But when we talk about mass deportations, here's the problem. The American people will vote for it. The American people polled say they want it, but then they don't want to see how it's done. When it gets on TV and they see the removal, the American people get queasy. They're uncomfortable. They don't like it. The fake news gets all the worst scenes. The little child with the little rabbit ears. That's all we see, right? Kids in cages. So they want it, but then they see it, and then they don't want what they see. That's your problem. So that's our problem as a hardline on immigration policy like me that wants all of them out, every single one of them. So how do you bridge that gap, Scott?
So I think number one, first and foremost, self removals have to be a thing. The government needs to take a hardline stance. We need to use an all government approach here. Okay, financial institutions, our banking industry. We need to, duplicate. We need to fiscally strangulate them so that they'll leave. There's no incentive here. They're working. There's no E-Verify Plus. There's other triggers besides people going out and enforcing the law by doing interior enforcement. So it needs to be a holistic approach here. It can be done. They're using the CBP One app to leave. People have chosen that option because they don't want to get caught up in the interior enforcement. It just can't be tolerated. Look, detention, as far as removal goes, shouldn't be a long-term game. What happens is these NGOs that are out there, they're making tons of money by stonewalling and then using misinformation to make this play on the heartstrings of Americans. It's really not.
Well, I think you guys got your work cut out for you, but we got to get them out, and you got to get better optics than you had in Minneapolis. No question
I
about
agree.
that.
Yep, I
And
agree with that.
you just got to get better optics, and American people have to understand what the objective is. It's very frustrating when e-verify, nobody pays attention to it. Guys are getting paid under the table. Businesses are chafing it. Removing them from their whatever their sites are, the chicken factory, whatever. I mean, the whole thing's a mess. But I think once Homan and his team figures out the best way to do this, we got to ramp it back up again, because we were promised mass deportations. We're not getting them, and that's part of the issue with the base. We want them out, and I know you're trying to do that. Scott, thank you. People want to follow you. Where do they go?
I'm on exit. Scott Mechkowski.
All right, Scott. Thank you. Thank you for your time.